going to go live here, too. So we
Your
are
question's
live.
going to have to do with autocorrect, isn't it?
No. and we're live on some things. So.
That's right.
Oh.
You guys are live right now.
So don't mention that autocorrect.
Correct.
All right. Here we are. It's time for Church Chat. And we're back in the studio. You can call this a studio. This is a studio, right?
It's a studio.
It's a studio
Coming to you
for
live
sure.
with 21,000 watts of power from Donnell Stadium.
1.21 gigawatts. All right. Let's play our little theme. There it is. It's Church Chat with Pastors Dan and Dave. Come hang out with us on our stream. It's Church Chat Wednesday.
All right. Welcome to Church Chat. We're back on the Adkins couch. I feel like it's been a
Together
while
on the Adkins
since
couch.
it's been you
Yeah.
and me. There's been a lot of guest hosts. We've been in and out, and we're
Yes.
here.
Traveling.
We're here. We're here with James. It's the original three. We are doing this thing.
It's our
and
posse.
We are so excited for it. First of all, I need to. There's a couple of things I need to say. First of all, I got called out by somebody, and so
Better not
Sarah.
be about the jean shorts.
No,
Okay,
I love the
alright,
shorts, and
alright.
I don't care what anybody says.
Yes.
But Sarah Crisp, if you're watching, she said every time she pulls it up, it starts off with me just looking at my phone. I'm sharing the link, Sarah, and it's for the people. So you're just gonna have to get over it. It's okay. But
I'm with you, Sarah.
He's playing with his phone for the good of the order.
yeah, it's not. I'm not playing Angry Birds or something. It's.
Balloon defense.
Do people still play Angry Birds? By the way,
Of course they do.
You know,
Do
my
they?
my little nephews do.
do they?
Yeah. They
James, are you still doing the Pokemon Go?
From time to time, yes. Yes,
From
that was
time to time.
what I started during, when I was stuck in the house for so long, finally got me out walking around.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So,
would've been a good idea.
did you catch
That
any?
and Clash Royale from Clash of Clans.
Okay. Have you caught any good Pokemon? Do you know what good Pokemon are?
I don't know. Have I? I've caught some. I caught some new stuff lately.
I know a Pikachu.
They just had their.
That's what I know.
They just had their Go Fest 2020, so there's all sorts of good stuff happening.
Wow. I don't know what that
I
means.
did not know that you played Clash of Clans. I'm going to have to invite you.
Do you play?
No, Clash of Royale.
You
right?
do the Clash Royale?
Yeah, I'm going to have to
Alright.
invite you to my clan. now.
I don't even know
hey,
what this is.
Listen, I just became clan leader of my clan, so
Ooh.
you should join mine.
Are you going to put that on a resume someday? Like,
Of
just-
course.
I've
Yeah,
run a
of course.
clan in...
Just so you know, I've led a whole clan before.
This is 2020, man.
Leadership
Like,
skills are top. If you have no idea what we're talking about, join the. I have no idea what they're talking about.
I also don't really know that well. So.
But it is good to be back together, and it's good to be here with Dave. Usually we start off talking a little bit about everybody's favorite topic, our chickens. Both getting eggs. You got 5 eggs.
We the last couple of days, yesterday got 5 eggs.
Are they all brown for you?
They are all brown,
Okay.
and the only chicken that has a name, actually, she's given nice big ones. She gives at least 2 big ones a day.
Wow.
And then the other ones are just lazy, and they're given the little tiny ones.
So just before I came, I went out with Amelia to check and see if there were any eggs. There was a chicken in the nesting box. As I walked in, it jumped out of the nesting box like I scared it and kicked its egg and shattered it. I was so mad.
That's so mean.
I was
That's
like,
so mean.
you
Dan.
jerk chicken. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Apparently, my one chicken has a problem with the fake eggs.
Oh, have you tried the fake egg thing?
That's how I got them laying. I put
Oh,
the fake
okay.
eggs
Golf
in there.
balls or what?
No, they were actually, they
yeah,
look
you
like
buy like the
real
little fake
eggs.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had to put a
No.
star on them because my son kept bringing
them
the
in,
house.
and they're really hard
we
to crack.
can't eat these.
They're
buddy.
made of like plastic or ceramic or something, so you can't really.
We just used golf balls. I mean,
Did that work
Yes.
for you?
yeah, of course it worked.
I would do that, but when I golf, I generally lose the golf ball, so I don't have a whole lot.
I
You know
will
what?
say that chickens are the dumbest creatures
That
on
is
planet
true.
Earth, and I've had chickens for years, and they just it's sort of fun to mess with them just because they're so dumb.
You know, do you realize they like going in baby pools? I did not know that.
No.
Mine were overheated the other day,
Okay.
and so I put a little baby pool in there, and I popped them in there, and they were just in there for a while.
So
chilling out.
I've got a nice fan in there for them, but one of them likes to try to roost up above the fan, and it poops through the fan and just sprays.
it everywhere.
It's terrible.
Nice.
It's awful.
Put that over your garden.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not great.
Have you guys found yet that chickens? Hold on, let me turn my camera back on here. That chickens have a so the pecking order, right? Have
Yes.
you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had 5 chickens at one time, and we had little names for each one. And the one name that should I share this on the stream? I'm sure it's fine. So we had one chicken who we had the rows for them to roost on, these big metal bars, but only one chicken ended up on the lowest rung.
Oh no!
And it was always the same chicken, and we had to name that chicken Crapback for a reason that you might be able to imagine.
Fantastic! This show's off to a roaring start.
Am I allowed to say that on the stream? I don't know.
I don't think
pushing
we're
the
regulated by the
boundaries,
FCC or anything. Just if one of our 5 viewers leaves, then we're down.
Yeah.
What is that? 20%? Like that's not good. So, but yeah. So we've got that going on. We've had rain, which has been
Yes.
exciting. My yard is green now. The chickens are loving that. We let them out in the yard and enjoy that. The little earth noodle worms that come up and they get a little something to eat, and pretty exciting. It's a good time.
Hey, if I might bring up one more thing.
Sure.
We haven't talked about Mustache Watch 2020 in a while, and I think I really like where we've landed, Dave.
Yeah, I would say this is where we've landed.
Yeah, this is it right here.
This is it. Yeah.
So, is this a mustache? Because a mustache is the upper lip.
It's a mustache.
Well, but this is more Fu Manchu.
Yeah, but it's a mustache that goes down, man.
That's a Fu Manchu.
Yeah, so
It's not a mustache.
well, let's look this up. Let's Google it. Is a Fu Manchu a mustache?
I
would say
I think
it's
a
type of
mustache is a
mustache.
separate thing, personally.
I
Plus,
think-
you've got the soul patch. You're getting greedy.
I think
some money
this
on
is a mustache plus some.
Plus some.
I think is that not a handlebar mustache? Is that
No, the
something-
handlebar mustache, and Holly's grandpa has a handlebar mustache, and it comes out in curls, and he waxes it. So he's got the nice curl. Also, he's in a barbershop quartet. So, as you should be,
That
if
makes
you
it
have,
worth it.
If you have a handlebar mustache, you have to also be in a barbershop quartet.
If you're not in a barbershop quartet and you have that kind of mustache,
You could
then
also
you should at least be riding one of those old-fashioned bicycles
with the big
wing.
front wheel, or playing baseball in the 1890s.
Yes.
one of
Like
those-
I think those are the 3 things you can do with the handlebar mustache.
Otherwise, you're a poser.
Baseball in the 1890s, bicycle with a large front wheel, or
Old-timey baseball.
your barbershop quartet. Yeah,
By the way,
it's those 3 things.
Logan's Irish Pub does have one of those bicycles with the large wheel.
There's a name for those. I forget what they're called.
Bikes.
Bicycle.
No, that's not true.
So I don't know if this is going to help you guys, but technically the definition of a mustache is a strip of hair left to grow above the upper lip.
Well, yeah, some of this has traveled way below the upper lip.
So it's just
But then,
plus some.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's still there.
Well, I have that as well.
Yeah.
But I also have a full beard.
Man.
Yeah. I would say that's a mustache and a beard.
Just so you know, when you search Fu Manchu, it actually comes up as Fu Manchu mustache. So.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
All I know is this makes me want a kung fu fight.
Have you ever gone kung fu fighting?
No. But if I did, I would be fast as lightning.
Hey, there you
Setting
go.
them up, knocking them out of the
Yeah, we
I would
are.
have expert timing.
It's like we could read. I could see where it's going. Your eyes were lighting up as I said it. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. Oh man. So a couple of updates just to let you know where we are as a church and kind of what we're going to be talking about today and those kind of things. We are in person still. We are at one service at 10 o'clock. And so it's both services combined. Still meeting in the dock. It's just a way to kind of conserve our resources and be able to do it much better. We're trying to look for some ways we can even do some more things digitally, because it looks like this kind of thing could last for a while.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to do our best with all of that. But yeah, so doing that. If we go to red, if we are ever a county that is red, and I think the updates are on Thursdays for
Yeah,
that maybe. So we might
last time it was
we might
Thursday or
find out
Friday.
tomorrow where tomorrow's Thursday, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm at church chat, so that makes today Wednesday. So yeah, if we go to a red county, we'll go back to just online. But other than that, we do have the in-person open, trying to still do the online thing and do it the best that we can. So,
It just seemed like second service people were a lot more comfortable watching at home.
sure, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Again, we've talked about this multiple times. As long as people are able to worship in a meaningful way to them, that's what we care about. We just want to facilitate that the best we can. So we're doing our very best, as is everybody else, trying to figure this whole thing out. So we're going to be talking today with Ashley Jacobus, who is the head of the Sunshine Institute here in town. It's right behind Burger King on Tiffin Avenue. Okay. And it's a great organization. I do a lot of stuff with people who have experienced trauma and how they go about, they have some really unique and innovative ways that they go about helping people walk through these kind of times. And so we'll be talking with her, especially around, as I think everybody knows, there's been a lot of people who are experiencing things during this time that are very, very traumatic, not just losing loved ones to COVID or things of that nature, but also just the concern that goes around it, the job loss, the general fear, I think, that exists for a lot of people. And, I've heard that, there's people who are experiencing things like symptoms of PTSD through all of this. And it's just, it's really difficult for people. So it'll be great to talk with her just about how it is that we walk through those kind of times. So yeah, we'll have her on here in just a few minutes. There was another thing I was going to ask you, and I don't remember what it was. But, I will share this as we're waiting. One thing that I've done to kind of take care of myself, and I know you have as well, is from time to time, we find ways to take time away with our family, to turn it off a little bit. I know you did that recently. You were down in Hocking Hills with your family. I loved your story and your sermon about that
Fat camp.
It really felt like your wife tricked you into going to fat camp. Like all of a sudden you're hiking and sweating. It's like this isn't what I signed up for.
I like the cabin.
Like I thought I was gonna go just sit and play cards, but no. Here we are hiking and sweating. Sorry, mosquitoes and very naturey. So,
everything I love.
But did you have a good time?
And a hush fell
Hey,
over the crowd.
Pastor, I must know now, did you, Dan,
Yes.
did you watch the whole sermon, or did you just find that part so you could mention it so that it seemed like you watched the whole sermon?
I watched the whole service. I was up at Lake Michigan, so with my family.
And that's one of my favorite places to go.
We just got a little VRBO, just not too far from the lake, and we were able to go and we can social distance there as well as anywhere else.
Yep.
Just sitting in that house, and it was really cool. The way that they had set up this house is the backyard was like this woods, but then the front yard they fully fenced in, and it would be like what you would look at and say, "Oh, this is your backyard." But they had the front yard all fenced in, and it had a fire pit, and it was really, really
That's
nice.
cool.
It was a great place to just go and relax. Our family just did dumb things. We played apples to apples and just stuff where we just found ourselves laughing together. And it was really good to be able to just, for 48 hours, just be away and relax. There was a little private beach area that we could go to and just kind of be still. My family, all girls, they really care about the tanning thing. That's what they were most excited for. So they put zero sunscreen on. I put a bunch on, and I was fine. They were in so much pain by the end of the second day. I was like, you didn't put any sunscreen on, and you're by a lake in the summer. What did you think was going to happen? So, and then Adeline yelled at me and said, "You're the parent. You're supposed to make me put it on." It's like, well, thanks.
My gosh.
That's super fair. I appreciate that.
All right, hey, real quick.
Yes.
So, we have a couple comments.
Okay.
One is from Beth Yoder. It says, "Hi, just checking on your Hamilton musical pastor video."
Okay. So there's this video going around. It's this dancing priest.
Yeah.
And he sings the song "You'll Be Back" from Hamilton. I assume you've seen Hamilton several times.
Yeah. I have seen the video of the
dancing priest
Yes.
guy. So
That's close.
And it's based off of King George's character in there, and so he does this little spoof about when the church comes back. So Beth Yoder's challenged me to make my own version of that. I don't want to be a copycat of that, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it better. Now, one of the problems was this guy did a video based on King George's character. You have to understand both Hamilton and Episcopalian liturgy for this joke to make sense. But and that's a small subset of people. Hamilton and King George is wearing like these long flowing red robes. He's got the crown. He's doing the whole thing, very regal and everything. Episcopalian robes are like that. Like he had this big old alb, and he had the incense burners and all
They
these
look
things.
a lot like just
I
Catholic
don't
priests.
have that. Right, I don't have that. So I can't do King George's character like that guy could. But perhaps there's another character, another song that could be parodied that we could make happen. I'm still noodling it around. So, Beth, stay tuned. I'll see what I can do.
Make it happen, Captain.
I'll see what I can do. Yeah.
So we had another comment too, which oddly enough, Facebook decided to hide it.
Okay.
So I was like, ooh, what was this spicy comment that got hidden? Sarah said, Dan, I have baby pools from my duck raising days, and I also have junk golf balls for you.
Okay. So Sarah Crisp, who's watching, and Sarah, you might notice that I got off my phone right away. Yeah, so she used to raise baby ducks across the road from us. So I guess I could use the baby pool for the chickens. I don't care about their happiness that much though.
Yeah. Well, mine just looked like they were about ready to explode.
You might get tastier
were
eggs.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I
just
don't
figure
know. I
they're.
just made that up, but I mean,
I
maybe.
figure they're just kind of like pre-cooked if I let them be.
Oh, speaking of pre-cooked,
Overheated.
when we got here, I went to Costco with two of my buddies on Monday.
Yeah.
When we got here, I had a sack of cheese that used to be a block of cheddar cheese.
Okay.
Apparently, somebody
You left it.
forgot
in the
it and left it in the car all week. Yes.
That's not good.
Now it's in
You should
James's
throw
trash.
You should throw that out. Adeline went to clean out her locker at Donnell today, and was 90% confident that on the last day that they had school, because it was just abruptly done.
Right.
So they still had stuff in their locker, so she went to clean out today. She was 90% sure that she had about a half of a latte still in her locker. But it turned out she must have thrown it away. So she was pretty excited about that. Otherwise, that would have been pretty not great. Pretty not great. So, but yeah, so they've got the lockers cleaned out. We're getting ready for the school year to start back up, and we'll see what that looks like. I know that, it's in the paper, I think, today that things are still fluid.
Yeah.
Things could still change. So we'll flow with it as we've been doing.
My middle boy is still on for UT.
Yeah?
Yeah, he leaves Monday. We take his furniture up, and then the Monday
Okay.
after that, he goes up, and I guess they're there till Thanksgiving
Yeah.
with no breaks, which that's unfortunate.
Right.
That I'll have two kids out of the house.
Oh, man, you've got one. You kicked one out of the nest.
Yeah, one left last week. They got an apartment. It's a really nice apartment.
You don't care if the apartment's nice or not. He's just not at your house.
Well, there's a pool there. if I ever want
You
to.
have a kiddie pool at your house. You have the chickens in it.
So yeah, that'll be two gone.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good for you. I guess my thing with the going back to school, and this would just be my encouragement to you all who are watching, especially if you have kids, it's really easy to it would be really easy to be paralyzed with, I don't know what's going to happen. What do we do if it's this? What if we do if it's that? Just,
All right.
I would encourage you to just take a deep breath. It'll all be okay. We'll get our kids educated somehow. It'll be
Absolutely. All right, so we have our guest ready. You guys ready
all
for
right.
the
All right,
guest?
we're ready.
Hi.
All right, let me bring her on the screen here. All right, you should be all good.
All right, Ashley, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are
Good.
you?
This is Dan. Talked to you yesterday. This is Pastor Dave's here with me.
Hi.
So it's good to have you on
Okay.
with us. How are you doing today?
It's great to be here. I'm excited. Thank you so much. I'm doing very well.
Good,
It's
good.
been a busy morning.
So, why don't you share with us just a little bit about you? You kind of run the Sunshine Institute. Tell us about what that is and how it is that you guys kind of got started.
Yeah, so my name is Ashley Jacobus. I'm the executive director at Sunshine Institute here in Findlay. I'm also a licensed professional counselor here. Um, we got started, gosh, I was in my internship a few years ago, and I was learning so much about these different kinds of modalities of treatment for. So, first of all, sorry, let me back up a second. Sunshine Institute is a mental health practice here in Findlay, Ohio. We are on Tiffin Avenue, and we see across the lifespan. We do mental and behavioral health counseling, and we also have some occupational therapy part-time. So we do a lot of different things here for a lot of different people. We see um, kids as young as 2, 3, and all the way up to 102 or 3, and families, couples, siblings. It's really a cool place. So, like I was saying, I was doing my internship a couple years ago, and I was learning about a bunch of different modalities, and it really inspired me to open this practice so that we could really just invest in those kinds of trainings and treatments that I found were really working well for people, kind of less traditional, but still evidence-based, such as like play therapy, art therapy. Um, I'm really big on movement-based therapy. I also am a yoga teacher, but so there's a lot of deep breathing exercises that you can do with that, and just movements in general. I've got posters all behind me and everything. I keep in my office on standby.
Gotcha. So you talked about different modalities, and so you're talking about all these different ways that people can come in and receive some mental health therapies and counseling that's different than what I think a lot of people, when they think of counseling, is I'm going to go in, I'm going to sit on the couch and talk about my feelings and all of that. But you guys kind of go way beyond that with all sorts of different ways of helping people.
Sure. I mean, everybody's unique. So one cut and dry style isn't going to work for everybody. And try to get a 4-year-old to sit down on a couch for an hour and talk about his feelings. Okay.
Right.
Let me know how that goes.
Yeah.
So by finding these other ways that we can reach people and allow them to express themselves, it can be less threatening, less intimidating, and just a more welcoming and freer environment, I think.
Yeah.
And all our rooms are kind of set up living room style. So there might be a couch, but we do not ask you to lay on it. There are some, recliners and just really comfortable furniture and bright colors everywhere.
Yeah.
My office is probably just about the darkest, but I'd say our main color in our waiting room is lime green, and I love it. So I think I should redecorate in here.
So you guys have recently, from what I saw, and this is one of the things that was really interesting to me, you guys have recently moved to a nonprofit status, which is different than a lot of counseling offices. Can you just talk about that and what led you to that decision?
Yeah, so we started out as an LLC, so a for-profit business, and I guess I should have said when I really started this, I saw a need in our community too, big time, that there were underserved populations, there are people falling through the cracks, and that just breaks my heart. So I really wanted to find a way where people could finally prioritize their mental health as they do their physical health. Mm-hmm. So with that, it was all about trying to provide sliding scales, payment plans, and just working with as many insurances as possible so that people could have more of their experience covered so that they can engage in this luxury. Because as a lot of people know, or may even if they think back on it, like, yeah, I guess it does. Like, think emotional pain. If someone breaks your heart, you feel down, right? You feel heavy, your shoulders feel heavy, you might get a headache, you're really tired, which can also sound like the symptoms for the flu or a cold, right? And so often, if you can treat your mental health, you can also treat your physical health and prevent a lot of chronic pain and really issues too.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, I think I can speak for Dave and I both. We both understand the importance of, mental health is such a real thing and such a need in our community. And so I really applaud you for finding a way to make it more affordable for people,
Absolutely.
and accessible, and not just a standard cookie cutter kind of way of treating mental health issues, but whatever ways are the best ways for that individual. Man, what just an important, I think, resource for our community to be able
Absolutely.
to be able to have that.
Well, thank you so much.
So, could you just talk about a little? So, you guys kind of went to this nonprofit status. Was it earlier this year? Is that correct?
September
Of last year. And now the pandemic stuff has hit and everything's been kind of closed down, and I'm sure it's made it more difficult. But how have you seen things change? How have things changed for you all during these last several months of this pandemic? And maybe not just how has it changed for you all as how you treat people, but what are some of the issues you're seeing pop up that were maybe that are maybe more prevalent now than they were before?
Definitely behavioral issues in children, which parents automatically, or the judgy people watching parents and their children, like to think, oh my gosh, that kid's just bad, or he's acting out, or he's a spoiled brat or something. But often angry behavior and really just forceful behavior can be a sign of depression in children. A lot of people don't know that it's not just sitting around crying, unable to get out of bed. And those are very real symptoms as well for some people, but it's also not a cookie cutter diagnosis. And it's very different in children. So, and often with kids, you'll find they don't have the vocabulary to discuss what their issues are. Like maybe they don't really know that what they're feeling is anxious about their teacher. Maybe they're worried about their teacher, or worried that their best friend is going to find a new best friend. I mean, you got to think all these issues are very relative. They don't have a car payment, so they're not going to worry about, okay, how am I going to pay my mortgage or for my car next month? They're going to think my best friend. They're going to think my toys, things like that. So it's important to remember that everything is relative. And so a lot of that, there's been a lot of isolation and loneliness. I think being out of the classroom, not being able to interact with peers as much, and it's creating some problematic behaviors at home for a lot of people, I think. And it's important to help your kids build that vocabulary so that you can sit down and discuss, what's going on. And when in doubt, use a faces chart. You can Google that online, emotion faces. Watch, oh my gosh, the Emoji Movie, or yeah. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of the one with a little anger and sadness?
Oh, Inside Out.
Thank you.
I've got kids. I know these things.
Yeah, and that's another really good example of how we have all these different parts in our head that are communicating different things to us and causing these behaviors and these actions. Like, she was really sad and feeling lonely and isolated, so she ran away, right? That's a behavior. Well, some would think that's a problem child. No, that's a sad, lonely child, and this needs a little help.
That's great.
I know for me, I've had a couple doctor's visits that have been online or via Zoom or telephone call. How have you had to adjust during this time of social distancing?
Yeah, so at first we did close our office and went to teletherapy, and unfortunately not all of our clinicians were able to participate at that time. So we were trying to, those of us who could, were trying to, get people in our schedules to see them and talk to them, help them, however. And we were fortunate that we were at least able to offer some teletherapy. And now we do have Zoom, and all of our clinicians have accounts now. And we're doing more and more teletherapy, which has been a really exciting opportunity that we hadn't explored before. And I think it's reaching a whole different population as well, for those who really are wanting to be extra cautious and stay home, and I support all of that, that you can still access these services and regularly. And a lot of insurance companies are covering it right now. And we're hoping in the longer span of things so that, this can continue to be a way to reach people, because there are things like agoraphobia, where people are afraid to leave their homes. They have such horrible OCD or anxiety, or both, they go together. But anyway, that they don't leave their homes, so they don't get treatment to even help them be able to leave their homes. And this is a way that we could reach those populations as well. And so we really are seeing opportunities even more to see families together. Kids love showing their bedrooms and toys and stuff. And then, but it's also not for everyone. And we did end up opening back up, but we're still doing a good mixture of in-person with masks, which has been challenging, but it's working, and teletherapy appointments. So
Good.
Some people really love it, some people don't, but I'm glad we can offer a little
Excellent.
both.
James, I think I accidentally stepped on your question there.
Hold on, let me turn No, it was no big deal. I was just going to mention that my wife, Emily Adkins, is a big fan of you guys. She's a school counselor. She was at Lincoln, but she's moving to Jacobus. But in any case, she's mentioned you guys a lot, and she actually had in her office, she has all the plush dolls of the Emotion, the Inside Out characters, and she uses that with them pretty regularly.
Yeah, we do too. It's very helpful.
I like at the end of that movie too, like they talk about how some of those emotions go together. There's like happy and sad, or can be one emotion. What's that look like? And how those things kind of blend together.
Now I feel compelled to watch this.
You need to go see the movie. Yeah.
Really should.
My kids are grown, so I'm always I don't care if I
Dave,
see
just go home and watch cartoons.
another
It's fine. I won't judge
cartoon as long as I live. But I need to check it out, I think.
you. Yeah.
I'm not a prescriber, but I'll write you a prescription. Okay? So that's another important thing quickly about our practice, is since I mentioned that offhandedly, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But we do not prescribe here. We're not psychiatrists. We do just perform therapeutic services.
Gotcha. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you guys and wanted to know more about your services, what's the best way to do that?
You can call us, 419-419-8500 is our number. So we have a billboard out front. We're right across from, really close to the Fifth Third Bank on Tiffin Avenue, just down from the McDonald's, actually kind of behind the Burger King, right there next to the mall. So you can stop in, although we're kind of closing down our lobby right now, but you can call in and we can arrange for someone to speak with you. We have a website, that's www.sunshineinstitute.life, Life, and we have a Facebook page, and that's Sunshine Institute LLC, even though we have transitioned to a nonprofit. So
Gotcha.
it's harder to change than you think.
Yeah.
And, we really just welcome your feedback, any questions you have, and and suggestions as well. Another main goal for me was to meet people, figure out what the community needs, and that's where we will go. And so that's really informed a lot of my decisions with programming and deciding what we may do for this versus that, which group for this, and things for that. So like our PTSD groups and our developmental delay adult life skill group. Those have been really cool things inspired by the community.
So I do have to also applaud you. I know you guys have recently taken up adoption with the fish from Awakening Minds are now in your lobby, and I helped carry that fish tank in there, and you are welcome for that. So you didn't know you were going to be doing fish adoptions, but here you are.
Dave, you didn't
Just
help
meeting
carry?
the needs.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ashley.
Of just meeting the needs of the
Yeah,
community.
there you go. Great.
We do not accept mammals.
Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Just that I really just hope that people will take the time to check out the website or the Facebook page and see just how we are different. And I'd love to speak with you about it. So I don't know. I can give you some cards or something for your church in case people are interested. So they have the website and email address and everything.
Yeah,
so.
and we'll put the James. I think we can probably put the links in the comment section to.
Oh, cool.
Sure we can.
I'm sure we can figure out how to do that. James is a wizard with these things. So, Ashley, we really appreciate you
Absolutely.
and what you do for our community and just your creativity. for ways of being able to help our community out with mental health. It's a huge issue, and I'm sure we will see each other again at some point in time. But thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank
Take
you
care.
for having me. It was such a pleasure. You guys have a great day.
All right, you too. Take care.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah, I really appreciate just I think the broad range of ways that they go about doing this, that they've tried to make it accessible and affordable, but also just, all right, what are the different ways we can meet different needs?
Right.
And to me, that's really, really important, and I think very creative, trying to find ways to help mental health. We've talked about this several times before, that, especially I think during this time, she mentioned like agoraphobia, people afraid to leave the house, and PTSD and things of this nature that are probably rising to the top more and becoming more pronounced during a really difficult time like this. And so I think services like hers and others are so important to us as we're thinking about not just our physical health during this time, but also our mental and emotional well-being as well.
Yeah, and I think you and I have experienced a lot with just the position we're in. People who are just downright afraid to go out and stressed to the max
Right.
about this time. People who are binge eating all the time. People who are binge drinking all the time. I mean, it's I think it is bringing out a lot of issues.
Yeah. I had a conversation with someone this morning, and I don't think this is going to reveal any confidences or anything, because I think this is a very common thing, but just with somebody who, we're back to in-person worship services, but they're not comfortable coming back yet. And the reason they're not comfortable coming back yet is that not that they're afraid necessarily for their own health, but what if I get sick? What if I get my loved ones sick?
Yeah.
What if I get somebody else sick? And I think that might be the case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not so much like, if I get sick, I get sick. But could I ever forgive myself if I somehow infect my grandparents or my parents or my kids or whatever it might be, and it's really devastating to them? I think that's where a lot of the fear and the anxiety lies, in the middle of all of this.
Well, even, I mean, as you know, it's been almost 3 weeks since my dad's funeral, and I had the privilege of officiating that funeral, but it was one of the most awkward things I've ever been a part of, just because of that. My mom's there. She has end-stage COPD. Nobody wanted to get anybody sick, and it was just a weird thing, because you're in this room full of loved ones, but everybody literally was 6 feet apart. You were kind of lumped together with your family.
Yeah, but at a time where you want to go and just hug everybody.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
awkward. And part of that was the rules of the funeral home, but part of that was just, man, we just don't want to get you sick. We've seen on my wife's side of the family, that's happened a few times, and it's just that fear is there.
Yeah. And I think one of the harder parts with all of that is, because it's become a politicized issue, it's not, you feel like not only am I, there's twofold to it. Like, I don't want to get you sick, but I also don't want you to think that I don't care.
Yeah.
And, so then there's this whole political aspect of it of, okay, well, what are they going to think I believe if I do this or don't do this? Or, am I going to upset them in a different way? And there's all of these just different things that float around, to the point where it becomes paralyzing. It just becomes paralyzing to people. And just before she came on, we were talking a little bit about kids going back to school. I think it's kind of the same thing. It's almost being politicized. Do I send my kids back to school or do I not? Or what are the schools going to do? And really, I think the reality is we all just care about, like, hopefully we all just care about each other, but especially our loved ones. I think people just care about one another and want to do what is the best thing for someone.
Yeah. Well, how many times have you gone to go into a store and been like, oh, crud, I forgot my mask.
Yeah.
Do I just go in? What will everybody think?
Yeah.
Am I going to get the stink eye? Or do
Right.
I run all the way home and get my mask?
Right.
mean, that's happened quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I used to
I'm
keep
not
mine in my pocket now.
I've started to.
It used to be, I had, and this can be a conversation someday. What are the things you always carry in your pockets? Phone, wallet, nail clippers, chapstick. And now mask. Always. Every day.
Excellent.
Every day. So I find the nail clippers more important than the pocket knife. And we can just debate that someday.
But you could cut your nails with a pocket knife.
You could, but I can snip things with the nail. We're not going to do this today. We're not going to go down this road. I'm very passionate about it, and I need more time.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that the reality is, for the most part, people care about people.
Sure.
We really do. Now, the way in which we express that, I think sometimes makes it seem to others who disagree with you that you don't care. Mm-hmm. So if I'm a person who's like, I'm not sure that all this is a big deal, and I think the best thing for people would be to get back to normal, in their mind it's caring to just go back to normal and push back against things. Well, on the other hand, people who are like, my biggest fear is that I get people I love sick. Best thing I can do to care for people is to stay home and wear a mask if I have to go out, and all of those things, where other people might see you as you need to just go back to normal. But I really do believe, in as much as it doesn't seem like it sometimes, that at the core of humanity, we're decent people who care about what's best for one another.
Yeah, we just
There's exceptions.
Yeah.
There's exceptions, but at the core,
Yeah.
we do care about one another, and we're trying to express that. So I try to give people the benefit of the doubt around that. But again, the reality, and going back to Ashley and what she's doing, is that a lot of, in the midst of all of this and trying to figure all of this out, there's no playbook for it. And it can be very emotionally taxing and mentally taxing and even physically, damaging, trying to navigate all of this. And so services like hers, so important. Mm-hmm. And I really just appreciate what they do.
I need to tell you about one thing I'm really excited about, though.
Okay.
Face shields.
Yeah.
My wife and I have face shields coming.
Okay.
And it's not a face shield that comes down. It sits on your shoulders.
Okay.
It comes up.
Okay.
I'm so excited about
Yeah?
it. Yeah. Here's the thing with my mask, and you guys might have noticed it on Sunday. When my mask is like, I have bifocals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, like, bifocals, I've worn bifocals since I was 30. So you're trained, like, if you go up steps or something, you actually look below your glasses.
Okay.
Because you can't really have any depth perception. And that mask cuts off everything. So I'm always kind of
trying to see what's
Yeah.
going on in the scene.
Yeah. So I'm excited about my mask.
Face shield. Could you get the kind of face shields, like, how on, like, the back of pickup trucks sometime, like, there's like an image that you can see on the outside, but from the inside it just looks clear.
Oh, yeah.
How sweet would that be?
That would be.
You could get like some sort of
Brown, Cleveland Browns.
They can't
you
even
know?
see your face, but
Yeah.
you can see everything out.
Yeah.
That'd be
That'd
kind
be
of
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
You could do that. I could see you pulling that off.
Maybe.
People wouldn't see your face as much, which would that'd be disappointing for me. So,
Watch it there.
this is church chat, so I do want to bring it back to this.
Yes.
Is that I think, as a church, a part of our responsibility is to make sure we are caring for one another in the middle of these difficult things, especially not just physically, but especially you notice your loved ones and your friends. You notice when they're starting to go through a hard time. You notice when they just seem off, And so I guess I would just encourage you to, we're pretty good at baking casseroles for people. We're not always great about saying, how are you really doing?
Yeah.
And when you notice somebody in your circle that, man, it just seems off, those mental health things are important. And be willing to strike up those conversations and to have those deep discussions. And sometimes you got to encourage people to say, you know what, it might be good for you to go and talk to somebody, to talk to an Ashley or somebody else, just, it might be good for you to just go talk to somebody. It can be such a helpful thing for you. So I think that's important for us as followers of Christ to make sure we're caring for one another in this way.
Yeah, and I got one thing that can lead to a major heart adjustment. I've heard so many questions about, well, there's these people who don't wear masks. How can they think that way? Mm-hmm. You hear that a lot. Mm-hmm. How can somebody else possibly have whatever mindset it is they have? How about asking, how can I pray for that person? Mm-hmm. I just think that reshapes your heart and helps mold you into a caring, and that's reflected in so many ways that without even verbalizing it. We don't have to look far for ways to polarize ourselves. Mm-hmm. Like, those are out there. If you're looking for that, you can find that pretty easily. You're swimming upstream trying to bring people together right now. But that's the work of the church. That's the work of the body of Christ, is to say, we are all one in Christ. And so whether they disagree with me about whatever the best route to go is, I know, and we've said this before, nobody in this room is an epidemiologist, except for maybe James. I don't know what he does in his spare time.
Facebook degree.
He's got a Facebook degree. We're not great experts on those things. We're supposed to be great experts, though, on loving people. That's what we're supposed to be experts on. And so that's my encouragement. That's our encouragement to you all, is whether they disagree with you or not, or no matter what ridiculous stuff they post on Facebook or any of those things, how can you best be a loving person towards another? Yeah. How can we come out on the other side of this, sharing God's love in ways that are just beyond what they've maybe ever been before? I think we can come out better on the other side if we're able to figure out how to do that.
Yeah,
so.
And I think an important part of clarity, you said it's the church. We're mm-hmm. supposed to be the church. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean the church. That means you are the church.
Right.
Church is in big C.
Yeah.
We're not just experts. You're an expert at loving others. So.
Right. Like, I saw there's a thing, another church I saw that just talked about themselves as the metaphor they're using for themselves now is, we're outfitters. Like, the church is an outfitter store. And so their job is, as people come to be a part of that church, you're the one going on the adventure. We're just doing our best to give you the tools you need to survive it and to thrive on the hike and on the adventure. So we do our best to do that and say, here's the ways that we think are maybe the best ways to go about this journey. But it's really each and every one of us that are the ones who are going out there, having to be on the front lines every day saying, how do I love others? How do I share Christ with others? How do I make this world a better place? How do I bring heaven a little bit closer to earth? And so that's all of us. That's all of our jobs. So we hope that, and mental health is a part of that. Knowing your scripture is a part of that. Staying in touch daily with God is a part of that. All of these things are a part of that. And so that's part of why we do this on Wednesdays. It's one more touch point to be able to say, here's another tool to put in your backpack to go on the adventure and maybe make it a little farther and a little better. So yeah. Anything else brilliant to share?
Nothing brilliant, but I do have a question.
Go ahead.
We're relying on your brilliance. Who would you like to see on the show?
Oh, yeah. Let us know if you have any guest recommendations. If you yourself would like to be a guest,
Oh, yeah.
let us know. And if you've got something cool to share, just shoot us a line. And
Honestly,
let us know.
we're running out of ideas.
You know what? There's 1,000.
Yeah.
There are more than 1,000 brilliant, wonderful people in Finley
Right.
that we would love to have on here. So just let us know if that's something you're interested in. So, James, anything else from the comments over there?
Let's see. Nope.
I see you got the link up for Sunshine Institute, it looks like.
It is.
All right.
Let me turn my mic on. Now people can hear me. Yes, it is up.
All right, wonderful. James, are you playing anywhere anytime soon?
Tonight I'm playing at Sticks on the
Oh,
patio
nice.
with my drummer friend, Slap Daddy.
Slap Daddy. Now, is Slap Daddy, is that his given name?
That's his Christian name,
Yes,
yes.
that's what I that's what I figured. That's what we were going to name Adeline if she was a boy. So
Yeah.
Adeline if you're a girl, Slap Daddy if it's a boy.
She
Slap
dodged
Daddy
the bullet.
Metzger.
Oh, awesome, very cool. Well, thank you so much for being here. I saw that our Spark Online video is already up for the kids, so make sure you check that out. Again, 10 o'clock Sunday, YouTube and Facebook, but also will be in the dock 10 o'clock. So we'd love to see you there if you're feeling up to it. We'd love to have you. Yeah, it's just good to be with you guys.
In the
Yeah,
dock,
sure.
10 o'clock.
In the dock, 10
It's
o'clock.
meant to be. If it rhymes, it's meant to be.
If it rhymes, it's meant to be. All right. James, go ahead and play us out, buddy.
This was Church Chat with Pastors Dan and Dave. Thanks for hanging with us on our stream this Church Chat Wednesday.
See you later.
You
Goodbye.
got the live version.
I
The
loved
live
it.
version.
I loved it.
All right.
Mandolin and all. It's a mandolin or a very small guitar.
Yeah.
Both.
Well, I almost called it a ukulele.